And I just wanted to, first of all, come in and say hello and make sure you could all hear us still. And just let you know, we will be starting in about 3 minutes. Good morning, everyone. We have a pretty full house here today. I'm not going to name off everyone that's here, but we have lots of Australians, lots of people from Great Britain, from United States, from New Zealand, Canada. That's where Angelina and I are, is in Canada. And from all over the world. We have right now 55, someone else just popped in, on the call. And Noel will be joining us in very shortly. He'll be taking over. I can see he is in the room now. So it's about 2 more minutes and I will be turning the mic over to Noel. I just wanted to pop in again and say hello. We're back with you at the top of the hour. Okay, hello everyone. This is Jenny Daly and welcome to the SMATA Group Update and Information Webinar. I first of all want to say how good it feels to be doing webinars again. We are so excited about this, and Noel will be bringing you a lot of good information today. I just want to apologize if my mic sounds very, very scratchy. We did some sound tests before, and I don't know if you can hear me very well, but both Angelina and I had pretty scratchy voices. Oh, it's better now. Oh, good. Oh, then it worked. I turned the volume down a little bit more, and so, Angelina, I'm at about 1/3 of the way along the bar, so. Mike says there's no sound. Let's find out. Angelina, could you put a note to Mike and make sure he's in on Chrome, etc.? Thanks. Okay, so I am here to introduce Noel. Noel is going to talk to you about all of this information. You will actually see me drop off towards the end of the call as I have an important appointment that I could not cancel this afternoon. So I will be here for about 3/4 of an hour, and then I have to drive away. Hopefully we'll be back by the end of the Q&A at the end. But Angelina, you will be in Angelina's capable hands for the last part of the call. So before I introduce Noel and have him get started, I just want to say personally, Angelina just sent me a message that said, "Don't you just love our members?" And I said, yes, I do, because I just want to give you all a big pat on the back for hanging in there with us and just being patient and loyal and just really, it's been a long road. We all know that. It's been a long road, and we believe we are at the end of that road now. So thank you so much. We love you guys so much. Okay, guys, I am now going to introduce Noel Adams, who is the, Jerry, thank you, and so are you. Going to introduce the CEO of Smata World, which is my boss, and Noel and I have been working together for, going on 5 years now, so we know each other like brother and sister. Sometimes that's great, and sometimes not so much, but I am really privileged to work for a man with vision like Noel. He's just a wonderful, compassionate visionary, and he's going to pass on this information to you now. So over to you, Noel, hanging up.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the first of our webinars for a long time. I do want to personally thank Jenny and Angelina for being so dedicated to this whole project that we've undertaken, and I do want to personally thank everybody that's been so patient waiting for it. There's a lot of people working in the background. There are things happening, so it's really not something that's been easy for everybody. It's a wonder that between Jenny and Angela and myself that we're all still talking to each other, because we tend to get a little bit frustrated with what's going on. Things are out of our control. So anyway, but look, with that, I'll get on. We have a little bit of information coming up here now. Some of it I can elaborate on, some of it I can't, because we're on non-disclosure, and some of it I quite frankly don't know. So what we'll do is that I'll go through the points that we're looking at, and then at the end of it we'll do the Q&A. So if you save your questions till the end, so we've got them grouped all together. I'm not sure whether Jenny will still be here when we start on that, but Angelina is here, will take over as well, so I'll answer what I can out there. So all I'm getting at is that we should finish up with quite a nice bit of information coming along from now. All right. Firstly, the NLA members may have received an email last week from Private Equity Trades with the Next Level Africa header announcing that your account is being deleted. So please ignore this email. Nothing is happening with your accounts. The technical team was clearing the Chingling e-commerce site when they pressed delete, and over 600 emails went out in error. Your NLA accounts are safe and still in good standing. The reason on that is that it's NLA that run the e-commerce. Chingling don't run an e-commerce. So when we first started out there, for those of you that have been with us for a while, when we first started, Jenny's just checking there, and I'm getting little notes come through, so I just have to read them in case something urgent's popping along. Anyway, but we, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. That's what happens. So I didn't have enough turmeric this morning. I'll have to get on that. But so those of you that may remember that when we first started, we started with Chingling, and that's where it all started from. It was from that. That we really started, and then the banks became involved, and the rest of it's I don't know. It's a long history with it. So, but that's where it is. So they no longer do it, and we are now just the NLA e-commerce. Now, an update on the CEX exchange. Now, look, what's happening at the moment They're linking the wallets into the exchange. They're doing quite a bit of work in there. There are things that have to be ready by towards the end of this month, if not before, but the banks have put deadlines on things out there. So the CEX is being worked on getting the wallets linked up. I mean, there's technical teams all over the world, technical teams in the USA, they're in South Africa, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and in London, of course. And what actually happens with it's coordinating the whole thing. It's really been difficult out there. So we're in massive testing at the moment. So you might find that there are things, popping in and out, wallets going in and out of sync. But nevertheless, we are on target to have this completed, and it's going to be any day now that we'll see it completed. It's in the hands of our programmers, so it is with them. Now, just to update you on the NLA and where we stand with accounts, projects and renewals, all of this will happen when we have the exchange trading. We don't want to be doing anything before that happens. We've got a lot of things that are going on. And just to clear up a few things, look, the NLA website, it's really not where I want it. I want it to be a lot better presented than what it is. But what you must understand that what's happening in the background, it's the engine running it. We have 9 servers that run NLA, which is quite a large amount to do with things that we're doing in there. And so we're having all of that. So once we're ready to go with the NLA, there's going to be a lot of changes made, presentation changes, so that the site looks like we want it to look. We want it to look $1 million. So that's really where we are. So the announcements on renewals and the projects will happen once we get the exchange. We should be running more of these webinars coming up. We'll try to give you plenty of notice on it, and as we get the information coming through, then we'll be able to inform you on it. But hopefully that this is all going to be happening this month with the account upgrading and the subscription starting again. After all, that's where we do make the majority of our money from running the matrix within the system. Now, what I'm about to tell you now, it's the first time I've released this. I've been working on it for some time. It's going to, I think, really let a lot of people know of where the direction of where we're going. So you'll see that I have to be very careful with what I can and can't say, because the banks will be doing press releases on this, and I've been given the clearance that I can talk about small parts of it. It's the humanitarian projects, and we will categorize the projects, and it will be a function that we'll have to insert, but each project will be looked at and be placed into a category of water, energy, food and health. We'll look at other categories that will go outside of that. That's how they'll be starting off initially with there. What is actually happening is that the banks, this is why the NLA component of what's going on has been so important to the banks, because they see us as something that can drive this. What the banks are about to announce is one of the biggest humanitarian projects ever undertaken. It will run into the hundreds of billions of dollars, if not into the trillions of dollars that they plan to raise. That's why we've had our investors stay with us for so long, because they can see where we can also help assist by bringing in humanitarian projects that want to raise billions, if not tens of billions of dollars a year on their particular project. Don't be mistaken between charities and humanitarian projects, so I'll go into those a bit later, but that's really where it's coming from. So the banks will be announcing, and that's where the coin comes into it. The coin comes into it because the coin is used for stored value. So they use the coin, so the purchasing on the coin, a percentage goes into the asset account, and then another percentage of it goes towards the investment in the humanitarian or their futures trading, gold, silver, forex trading, the whole thing that they invest in. They actually get back 22% per day on that. So just to do some figures, some easy figures, if they were to, let's say we purchased $1,000 worth of coin, that could be Chingaling or NLA, 50% of that immediately goes in the asset account and 50% is used for purchasing and investing. When it comes back in 14 days, it goes for 14 days, it comes back, and on a $500 investment, it comes back at $2,700. That $2,700, it's pretty obviously 500 goes into our asset account, and you've got $2,200 left. Out of that, 90% of it, the banks are donating to the humanitarian projects. Now, I've just done those figures on $500. Once you start doing those figures on the billions of dollars that they're talking about bringing in with the investors, it just runs into an enormous amount of money. So you can see where this is going to be rather special when it comes out. We've certainly got a lot of interest coming in from everywhere. It's a bit like this. Payments will be made as a bundle. It will also be required of NLA to look into more or higher needed funding projects, talking billions, not hundreds of thousands. Those projects must be given separately, and it will help us to bundle it with others that need smaller funding. In other words, we'll be able to identify and look, all of this will be made clearer on the qualifications and the necessary things that you have to have put together. This money is not going to individuals, it's going to humanitarian projects, but we'll be looking at also doing some investments, or sorry, some donations to our charities and other personal things as well, because this generates quite a large amount of money. Just to go on, when this is announced officially and it goes out there in the press release, there won't be anybody that won't want to be part of this, because anybody that's raising funds for humanitarian projects, and I'll tell you now, we do have quite a few, and there are people in this room now, we have quite a few contacts within Hollywood. Now, Hollywood, the reason I say that is because probably there's more requests for the top level actors, actresses in Hollywood to be the face of a humanitarian project out there. And with our contacts, we certainly can get there. You only need one. You could, this will filter up. We could find I say this with respect, we could find a janitor in a movie theater and it would go to the top of the tree because it'll spread so quickly. I mean, just to use an example, I know you use this pure example out there, is my son has just recently, over the last 2 years, has been in 3 movies with Chris Hemsworth, and the latest one was Thor, filmed here in Australia. My son knows Chris quite well, and Chris is quite passionate about a lot of humanitarian projects. He's quite a keen surfer. He lives in a place called Byron Bay here in Australia. Surfs every day, so he certainly would like to see something happening with the oceans out there. And when we talk about the oceans, we certainly do talk in the trillions of dollars required. So if we were to get the information to someone like that, you can see how quickly it would spread through Hollywood. And there are people here with some major contacts in Hollywood to start with. So all I'm saying is that our job would be then to mention to these people, to point out exactly what we've got going so they can become part of it. Now, the Crypto Investors Group, I just want to, look, I'm going to be very straight to the point with this as well. And I'm the first one to confess that I am not necessarily a guru on all cryptocurrencies. We've had circumstances happening there within the rooms that members want to talk about other cryptocurrencies, and I've woken up some mornings there to 70 odd messages in a room, and it's all talking about everything else but our cryptocurrency. Well, I want to make sure that this is understood, that this is all about the CEX and the NLA coin. Whilst I'm not an expert on the other cryptocurrencies, I do know of them, like a lot of people reading up about them. I do put myself in the expert category with CEX and the NLA coin. The CEX is something that we manage as well. I've just recently paid to have all the security put on there, and everything that's going on in CEX at the moment we pay for. And so I'm right on top of whatever's happening there, and it's important to understand that we only deal, I don't want to be waking up and finding out that people are talking about every other crypto out there, because, and I'm not knocking any other crypto, don't get me wrong, but we don't want to be talking about, there's 2,000 of them, and there might be more to come. But I'll tell you now, there won't be any other cryptocurrency that has the backing of what the NLA coin. The NLA coin is the most unique coin out there, including Chainaling, even though they're both part of the same group, if you like, the same group of coins. It's managed by the HSBC Bank, the NLA, because it's a little bit more versatile on what we can use it for. But look, this group is for the NLA members and non-NLA members, so you don't have to be a member of Next Level Africa. The group is being formed to help people come to a better understanding trading in the CEX. We will offer tips and how-tos. This group has nothing to do with the NLA program, as in the networking program, so you can comfortably bring people in, because some people really don't look. In fact, the banks would probably reward me if I said to them tomorrow that we're stopping the MLM program and we're going to just run it as a traditional business. They'd probably do cartwheels and have a statue made of me and put in the middle of London because look, I've been fighting for a lot of things out there, and one of the things I fight for is the NLA members. They've been so loyal that I would feel uncomfortable if I didn't go to battle for getting the best result out there. And to be quite honest with you, is that when companies set up with MLM, they set up because it's cheaper to set up globally. You've got a global reach of a lot of people wanting to put their hand up to do the hard yards without having to pay. They get rewarded when they work. Whereas if you set up a traditional business, I mean, look, we're in over 120 countries, so to set that up, it would cost tens of millions of dollars, possibly hundreds of millions of dollars to set up that as a traditional company. So that's why a lot of people who set up businesses set up MLM. With the deal that Next Level Africa has just done with the banks, it runs into the billions, tens of billions of dollars a year that's coming in for the humanitarian projects. Now, in all fairness to it, we don't need the MLM component, but whilst ever I'm running and that's going to be for a little while yet, and it's vetted out there that my family who take over will never be able to delete the MLM component because I couldn't do that. It's because of the members we have in the MLM that have got us to where we are now, so I have to respect that, and I do respect it. So I just wanted to point that out. You know, as we get going, a lot of things are going to happen, and some of these things that I say, you might feel that because I've been used to it, I've been talking to banks, and when you get into talks with banks where they talk in the billions of dollars, the next thing it becomes a normal thing. Not that I consider that everyone should be there, but that's what happens. You know, we're talking with them. So the point I'm trying to make with that is that Next Level Africa is owned by Smarter World. Smarter World is a company owned by there's only two shareholders, myself and my wife. And the reason I say that is because we will be able to put 99% of the income that comes in from this back into Next Level Africa or any other programs we're working on. We don't have shareholders or a massive team of highly paid directors to do it. So there's only two shareholders, myself and my wife. Well, I'm probably just under my wife, so she's the remains after 50 years, so I know my place out there. But look, I say that because I want people to feel comfortable about of where we're at. Next Level Africa is debt-free out there, so anything that we do within Next Level Africa is going to go back to the community. We have a lot of things in place, and we hope to be able to implement that once we get started out there, and we feel that the members will benefit, and really that it's going to be. Look, one of the things out there that people say to me about, I've spoken to somebody, and I really don't know what they're telling them because I find it hard myself, and I'm the owner. Telling them, and they just don't believe that these banks are behind it. They don't believe, and show me some sort of proof. The only answer I have to that is that in Global Exchange and Coin Exchange, if you look in there, you've got addresses, you've got emails and contact phone numbers. When you click on deposit, where you're depositing money in the Global Exchange, it goes directly to the HSBC Bank, and the beneficiary account is Jingaling Limited. Now, in the Coin Exchange, when you deposit in there, it goes to one of the other banking groups that are involved with us. We have a very large number of banking groups involved with us on what we're doing, which include Bank of America, Wells Fargo, just to name a couple of the small ones. And the money, the beneficiary account is Jingaling, and so the money goes to Jingaling Limited because they control the asset account. Now, because it shows $11 billion in the asset account in Jingaling, because they do have 50 billion coins, Jingaling coins, and the asset account in Next Level Africa is 1.5 billion, we have 100 million coins. So the banks would have received certainly no less than a couple of thousand people inquiring about what's this all about. I think that not one of them has got an answer that they've saying from the bank, but I'm telling you now they do. And the answer is that the banks would have this all over every news outlet in the world that this is incorrect. They would certainly make sure that members weren't scammed by a project. So if you want to make contact with the banks out there, by all means, do it. But the mere fact that nothing happens, that you don't read it anywhere in the paper out there, indicates to you that it's got to be close to being correct. And when they do their announcement out there, the press releases, a lot of this of what I've just told you, plus more of what they'll talk about, will all be released. But Next Level Africa have done the deal with them where we will be a recipient of tens of billions of dollars a year that will be placed into the humanitarian projects. We'll be nominating some of the humanitarian programs that don't need larger funding. So look, with that, I'm going to pass it over now to Jenny, if she wants to come in and coordinate any of the Q&A. I'm sure that what I've just told you now is probably something that may have sunk in, it may not have sunk in, but we are certainly in the right direction of where we want to be, and I'm just so happy that we're almost seeing the completion of this. It's been a long journey, 3.5 years now, so we're certainly getting close to it. I'm going to pass it over to Jenny, and she'll coordinate any Q&A. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Noel. This is Jenny speaking again. And I just wanted to say, I know the section that Noel went through about the humanitarian projects and the money that's going to be allocated from the banks to those projects is very, there's a lot to it, and it's the first you've heard it. So you may have a lot of questions about that, but Angelina and I were in the background, and we have decided we're going to get together with Noel, and we're going to put together, without divulging anything more than what Noel said, we're going to put it together in a bit of a point form, so that you can digest it a little bit more than just the audio, because there's a lot to that. We'll probably have that ready sometime tomorrow. Now, questions. Does anyone have questions? You could type your question into the chat. Noel will see the questions. Here comes our first question, and as we go through, Noel, you can see the questions, and I will send you a private message if you have missed one. At least I'll do that for the next 10-15 minutes, and then Angelina will be taking over. So Noel, the first question comes from Michael, and he says, is there still going to be a partnership with the 1 gram gold supplier? Over to you.
Sorry about that, my clicker didn't want to click. I'm just trying to go through a few things here as I'm talking. The easy answer to that is that we are still in contact with the gold company out there, and very much so. I really don't want to add too much to it there, because we are working extremely close with them, and we will be announcing, I mean, they certainly want to be part of anything that we're doing, and so the short answer to that is that probably yes, and we'll be doing other things with the gold as well. They will also be coming into Next Level Africa, and possibly in the realm of 10,000 positions in Next Level Africa, and they've committed to that, because you may have heard me talk about the gold company out there, because what it is that they developed machinery that extracts metals from landfill. And when they did that, they discovered that there was a lot of children living off the landfill, feeding their families. So that's their project out there. It's probably one of the biggest projects we've got listed in the system. And they will undoubtedly, they have contacts in fact, the head of the company is a crypto specialist, so he's probably forgotten more about cryptocurrency than I know out there. So I do get a lot of information from other people. Anyway, but look, the short answer to that is yes, we are certainly working with them, and we'll inform you as we go.
Okay, Noel, I'm going to ask two questions here, and you could probably answer both of them. There's a few starting to pile up here. The first question is from Lou: how is the C-Wallet development going? And the second question is, are you working with Chase Bank as well as Bank of America and Wells Fargo? So there's two questions for you to go ahead and answer.
Look, with the banks, we are dealing with 70 odd banks, 76 banks actually. I'm not at liberty to say which of the banks that are out there, but it's a known fact that the Bank of America and Wells Fargo, obviously, because they're there. So I can't really say too much about the banks at this point, but the HSBC, when they do their press release, possibly announcing that and have it on their website, the Jingaling.com website, they're working to get that going out there. And then just to cover the wallets, for whatever reason they needed the wallets to sync because they didn't want to take any bugs into the new wallet. So I've had possibly 20 people that have been working with wallets, the old wallets, to get them to sync. They're popping in and out because they're working on it. And once they tick off all the boxes with that wallet, which is any day now, then it's going to be a smooth transition to go into the new wallet because they just don't want to take any bugs into the new wallet, because our wallet's got to be linked through the exchange, the blockchain, through our e-commerce and Next Level Africa. So it's you wouldn't believe the security that goes on with anything that's got to be done in this area. Every component of it is checked and double checked for security, and so that is part of the delay out there. And security is the most important thing about running any of these websites is security. The second most important thing is security, and third is security. So it is security all the way through. But once again, short answer to that is that they are certainly getting very, very close to the completion of the testing on the wallet.
Okay, this is Jenny. It looks like we just lost Noel. He's in here, but Noel, we completely lost you. Your picture went away, your avatar went away, and so I'm going to log off and see if you can log in and tell me that you can talk again.
Okay, it's telling me I'm there, I think, although it's not showing that I'm talking. Can anyone hear me? Okay, all right. That's Jenny. Thanks very much, Ariel. All right. All right, well, anyway, the answer to that before was that I can't really go into which banks are involved with it. I have mentioned a few. If I go any further, they'll kill me. I mean, with some of the information out there, they shudder when they find out I've known about it, because we all know that in Australia anyway, the best way to get information out there is telegraph, telephone, and tell Noel. So I really want to release a lot of this stuff, but I can't, because the banks will get a little bit upset about it.
Okay, so the next question on here is, given the long time frame between registering on the CEX or GEX, what if we are no longer be able to log in to either exchange, i.e. we no longer have the same phone with the original 2FA. And down below, I saw another question that sort of it ties into this, and that is, will the exchanges have support when they open? Okay, Noel, back to you.
Okay, I'll deal with the first one, that 2FA. Look, avoid that completely. Don't use that out there. It's there for a reason, but we certainly don't know why it's there. They will have trouble recovering some of that information. I'll try and get them to work on it, but certainly stay away from any registration with that 2FA to Google item out there. So I've noted, look, because I've got other messages coming in from me now, I've forgotten the second question there. Jenny, can you just remind me?
The second question was, will there be a support for the exchanges? And before I put you back, I missed a question earlier, and that was, what will happen to funds or coins and accounts we use to set up numerous Next Level Africa accounts? So basically, what will happen to funds that they used to set up a whole lot of Next Level Africa accounts? And will the exchanges have support? Back to you.
Number one, yes, the exchange will have support. We'll be running the support in Coin Exchange, and the bank will run the support in Global Exchange, but we'll have all of that in place once we get going there with it. I'm not terribly clear on, and I want to be respectful for Jenny's got to go very shortly, so it might be that Angelina jumps in to do any more from here. So Jenny, if you've got to go, I'll certainly understand, or I don't want to hold you up. When the question there came about what happens to funds that people paid for multiple accounts, that would be that they've gone to wherever they need to go to. We started the subscriptions 3 years ago. We've never had a yearly subscription come in there, which we want to get started with, because it certainly is that the matrix is not going to work unless it's a yearly, and the yearly is $15 per account. Now, we have obviously people that have taken on multiple accounts, and that's because you can have multiple. Each account represents a platform for a project, if that's what you want to do, or gift it to somebody. And so there's you know, I mean, the whole concept of the matrix and the comp plan is to have a yearly subscription going, because look, we put multiple streams of income in there, and that is one of them that we put in there was for the piggybacking. So if you have a project going, and people don't realize this, of where the income's coming, you have a project going and you receive 1 piggyback, you actually net 4 coins out of that. Those 4 coins now, just to round it off, is heading towards $90 that those coins are worth, and you've got that for a $15 investment. That's not a bad deal on one account. So people don't actually relate that to any funds they've earned from their project, because that's what's happening. You're getting funds because of your project. So it's an area out there that doesn't show up in the funds that have been collected and through the projects, but it nevertheless is there. But we need to get started with and we'll be doing it on a rollout manner, so that we can look at every aspect. It could be a case by case out there, and on certain lines we do, but we need to get it back on track again so that it's simply rolling through. Because just with if we get started with these subscriptions, there's going to be a couple of million coins that go to members, and we are dealing with quite a bit of money. That would be a $20 to $40 million investment for the members out there, and I'm sure people want to see that come into their accounts.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Noel. The next question is, and this is from Ian, is the CSA CyberShield partnership still in place? And then Bernard also asks, will there be an easier processor when paying for accounts?
Where are we? Yes. Look, with the CSA, it's probably hard to deal with the alliance partners that we've put in place because there's going to be quite a few of them, and the alliance on that was to do with the exchanges trading. We've been told the exchange is going to be trading every week now for the last probably 60 or 70 weeks. So, but we will certainly be reviewing that again. I'm in contact with the owners of the CSA, because when we first started, you may remember, it was a key logging security system they had there, and the company lost their agency for that, and so it put a little bit of a different strain on where we were going. So we really need to review it and see just where we are with that component. There's a lot of discussions, but what I really wanted to work on is getting the to get the exchange and get things trading there, because once that happens, many things can happen. I have to confess, I'm in contact with a lot of companies that want to use the NLA coin. In fact, I have a fairly big meeting on tomorrow with a reasonably large company that we're just discussing, some ideas. We have companies that run into the tens of thousands of members that want to look at using our coin, and once people realize the backing we have on our coin, there is no other coin that's got the backing that we have. So once they realize that, they're going to feel a bit safer using the coin for a payment structure. When we look at an easier way to pay subscriptions, right at the moment, we've got what we call a seed node that's attached to Next Level Africa and to the bank for the distribution of the coins, because our coins are not traded through the exchange. That's why you don't see any trading through the exchange. We don't sell the coins in the exchange for $1, because I've secured a certain amount of coins for the NLA members whilst we are going. That's why the banks are a little bit concerned about the quantity of coins out there, because they see the NLA members as networkers as a bit of loose cannons out there, because if you're trying to attract investors into the exchange that are talking to invest hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in it, and then you get somebody that comes from the NLA group that really has no idea, and they see the coins in there, and all they know is they want to get on the front of the line, and they'll just put their coins at the cheapest on there. So then someone else will come along, put them cheaper. So they see the NLA members are driving the price down on the coin rather than up. Because I don't know whether you realize what I've just said about this is why it's so important, is that it's through the sale of the coin determines the amount of money they've got to invest in the humanitarian program they're working on. So it's really just one follows the other. So the more coins that are purchased, the more money goes to the investment that comes back to humanitarian projects, which they're talking about raising trillions of dollars a year in this system out there. So Right for now, we'll be using the PayPal system, which that's what it is. You see, we purchase a cloud system, and we gift people the coins for purchasing the cloud. You have to have a product out there, because if you just had the coins through the system, people could put a charge back in and say they never got them. So we have to have a product, and the product is the cloud. So that's really just there as a product. But once we finish the Seednode, we are working on a cloud banking system, and we will be hopefully bringing that into play. So that's where we're working on there. All right, back to you, Angelina.
Thanks, Noel. And again, we do know that this is a ton of new information, so don't worry if you're not getting it the first time. We have had the privilege to hear it quite a number of times, and we're still getting our heads wrapped around all of the details, and more details are coming on the humanitarian projects, etc. This question next is from Daryl, and he's asking about the C-Wallet. Is there a system in place to retrieve your personal passphrase in case someone loses it? Okay, and then Ian is asking about the renewal. Is renewal 15 NLA coins for package 1? 15 times USD 21 today, or 15 USD? Okay, so is it 15 NLA coins for package 1, or is it 15 USD? Back to you, Noel.
Just starting with the passphrase, the only person that will have the passphrase would be you. So if anyone sets a passphrase up on their computer to get into the wallet, if you lose it, you will lose your coins. So it's very important that you save that passphrase, because there's no one to retrieve it. That's what the security on these wallets are. They're on your computer, so there's no access, there's nothing online. You're the only one that has it. What I've decided to do with Next Level Africa is that we will be related to coins per sign up. It's not dollars out there. I mean, that's how it works at the moment because of how we've got it. When I first started this out there, we replaced the traditional payment processes, because you really have trouble getting what do you call it, a merchant account when you're dealing with crowdfunding. They really want to stay away, because there's a lot of fraudulent activity that can go on. You're dealing with just money. There's really no product that they see. The product is money, so it's very hard. So we started off with doing the Chingaling coin, if you might remember, and at that point then we made it $1, and we anticipated that it was going to be sold on the exchanges, would have a value of 2 or 3 cents, and then eventually over a period of, who knows, a year or two, if it came up over the $1, members could have the option to sell it either outside of Next Level Africa, but we would guarantee the $1 inside. Now, because it jumped so quickly, we had to adjust to all of that. I mean, look at it now, it's $21.75, I think the last I looked. Went up last night actually, $20. So we've had to really look at that, but we will be working on the basis of joining Next Level Africa will be 15 coins. So but as we get going, there's going to be a lot of people with coins that will be able to help people join Next Level Africa if they needed to buy the coins to join. So it's a little bit of biffing out there if people want to do that. So you know, as I said, right now we're working on, it's 15 coins rather than $15, and at the moment the coins are, with these, they work out about $1.10, a little bit more than that I think, but that's where it is. But it'll be 15 coins. I mean, look, we have to manage this on a case by case, a day by day, to make sure that that we're not disadvantaging anybody out there. We want to make sure that everyone gets a fair go with it. So so that's where we are. So it's 15 coins.
Great, thanks. I'm being told that I'm really loud, so I'm sitting back farther. Tim is asking, Bitcoin is capped at 21 million coins. Is there a cap on the number of NLA coins? And Diane is asking about a project. I have a project I want to support. Should I set it up now on NLA? Back to you.
Sorry about that. I'm backwards and forwards, and answering messages coming in outside of this. With the project, yes. Look, I would be setting up a project now in there. So I mean, there's no time like the present. We've had. If you can imagine that when this is released to the general public, you are just a handful of people that know about this. This is not common. It's going to be, this recording will go out, and I'm sure that a lot more people will start to realise what's going on. We are going to have, I don't want to hype this up, but we are looking at millions of people joining Next Level Africa, the concept, because there is absolutely no other program like it. You work it out today, and we'll do the numbers on it, but you work it out today is that the coin at its value at 21.75 right now. I'm not doing figures with a calculator. These are just rough figures because it could change tomorrow and only ever go up. In the 2 years we've had the coin out there, in fact it's now 2.5 years we've had the coin out there, it's never ever gone down, and it won't. So if you were to have one position in Next Level Africa, it costs you $15 to get on that train now, right? So you're in. You never have to spend any more than that because you're upgrading your position from there. The concept I had with this is almost like, I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble. I know there's a few people here that do like a gamble, but I don't. And if you can imagine going up to a gambling window and putting $15 on a horse, if you like, and then it's almost guaranteed to win, and you put that all up on the next horse and all up on the next horse and all up on the next, that sort of thing, and you're guaranteed to win, and then you collect at the end of it. Your initial investment's been $15, and you could collect $15,000 at the end of it if you keep going up with it. That doesn't happen in racing, but it certainly happens with this because that's how I've planned it. So let's imagine that you do go in there, and whether it's this year, next year, or the year after, whatever the percentage is, people that are in Next Level Africa now are going to achieve this purely because of the numbers that will be coming into Next Level Africa. But if you tried to tell somebody that for a $15 investment that you could return $130 million a year, and that will increase by $5 million per year every month, they wouldn't believe it. Because who would believe that? I have trouble believing it, and I've developed it. But it's true. It's out there because simply if you received your coins, you do the numbers on it, you're receiving the coins, you take them out and sell them, and you could receive $130 million for one position for $15. That's why it's going to be difficult for anybody to tell anybody about Next Level Africa, because it simply sounds incredibly impossible to do it. Just to Bitcoin have got 21 million coins. Their coins are mined, and that's sort of getting to a point where there's not going to be too many more coins floating around. Our coins are staked. At this stage now, we started off with 100 million coins. I think we're up around about the, I think there's another 400,000 on top of that, so 100,400,000 coins out there, because with the staking, we actually accumulate coins out there. So it's an area that we started off at 100 million, but it'll run up because of the staking process. Anybody that's got their wallets open now will see that the wallets are staking out there, and you know, that's why we decided to go with the staking process rather than the mining, because with mining you need some pretty high-powered computer equipment to mine for coins, but with the staking process, anybody with a computer can do that.
Okay, that's great. Again, back to, will the payment gateway be a lot easier for funding our accounts? And again, Daryl is asking, how much will we pay per coin? Example, one coin, US $1 versus, oh, anyway, one coin versus one coin equals $1. So he's asking how much will we pay per coin, and will the payment gateway be a lot easier? Sorry about that. Stumbled over that. Back to you.
I'm not sure if I fully understand that question. I'll try with it anyway, but right now the coin is $1 for members. Members pay $1 for the coin, plus fees for whatever that is. That's all put on by the bank. They pay that for the coin, and the way it goes, once we finish the seed node, which is the coins allocated to Next Level Africa for our membership, once we finish that, people will have to purchase coins from the exchange to join Next Level Africa, or purchase from a member, whichever the thing is out there. But I'll need to purchase the coins, whatever the going price is on the coins, in order to become part of Next Level Africa. But once again, it still works out the same. That if you, I mean, I'm giving figures now of, let's say the coin right now, just rounding it off, is $20 a coin, and it were to cost you $300 to join Next Level Africa, you still get in the line of collecting $130 million a year. So if people can't afford the 300, there are many ways to go about doing it. People can share accounts, people can be piffed in out there. There's a lot of ways to go about doing it. But once you get on this train, you don't have to find that money again. So that's where it is. Right now it's $1, which is, I've made that available. It's not going to be available to any other alliance partner we have. It's only available to Next Level Africa. The other thing too is that we can also develop a cryptocurrency for companies that want their own cryptocurrency, and we can't do an asset account for them, but we can align it with Next Level Africa value so that they can be exchanged. So I have a lot of companies that actually want to do their own coin and have the backing, because we've got the asset backing behind us. So our coins, if we align another coin with us, that company will be very happy that their coin hits the market at whatever our value of our coin is, and not too many coins can do that.
And we have two more questions. Diane asks, can we have an update on the Mac wallets that keep crashing and not syncing? And Jerry asks, when should we be ready to renew our NLA accounts? And can we pay cash or NLA dollars? Back to you, Noel.
Okay, I'll do the easy one first. Diane, the Mac wallet, they have told me that it's now syncing. My Windows wallet, in Chingaling, anyway, won't sync, but in LA, they tell me that the Mac wallet will now sync. So if you want to give it a try, and this is not incidentally, these wallets are not the new wallets, but they've got a test to make sure that they get the wallet syncing before they put that information, the coding, into the new wallets. But I was told that the Mac, in fact, our developer, I should really give him a bit of a mention. Many have heard me talk about Vaynard Vessels. He is the architect. He developed the coin for me, and he has most of the dealings to do with a lot of our technical stuff out there. You'll hear me talk about Vaynard in different ways. You'll hear me telling you I love him. The next breath I could be telling you I want to kill him. But that's just how this has gone over the years with it. So, you know, with the wallet, he has a Mac wallet, and he tells me it's syncing. But once again, that's the old wallet, and it takes about, if you're downloading a wallet, it takes about 50 hours for it to sync. So it's that's what they're trying to get on top of it. I think the question there with Jerry to do with the how do we pay? Well, it's currently paid through the cloud folder system with using cash, but you're buying the coins through the system. So it would make sense that when the exchange gets going, that's what we're waiting for, members will be able to put their coins in the exchange. We have an order from an investment group waiting to purchase 50 million of our coins, and they're spending a bit over $1 billion on our coins. So they will snap up everything on the exchange. So when it becomes time, members will be able to sell their coins on the exchange to get money to do their upgrades. So, you know, people are going to not, you know, have to worry too much about if people have got multiple accounts, not have to worry too much about finding the money. They'll be able to sell the coins on the exchange and then just pay for the coins, which is very, very unique. So we're not asking for people to put coins up. You can just simply go in, if you've got coins, you can use your coins if that's what you want to do, but simply go into the cloud folder and pay with fiat currency.
Okay, this next question is actually two parts. Ron is asking, what is it that establishes value for the coin, and how does one trade it for goods and services? Back to you.
The coin is set, value is set by what they call the market maker. The market maker has been appointed by the bank, and he values the coin on what's sold and goes in the asset account. So it went up 4 cents the other day because I think there was $20 million or something put into our asset account. So it's left with the market maker. If there's coins do fluctuate, if they happen to go down, well then their value would go down. It's very unlikely for us because we are, remember what I mentioned before, that the banks, the deal I've done with the banks, they're putting 20 billion into our asset account. And that's why the value, I mean, them dealing with our company will have a book value because the asset account is attached to our assets. And so our company will have a value of $25 billion. That's not a bad MLM company to be part of. And so we'll have a lot of clout with the banks, and already that they've shown that they want to be part of it. We want to be part of them as well. But once again, we'll be able to bring a lot of business in there, and we'll do good business together. So sorry, I keep getting messages sent to me that takes me off track a bit on answering the questions out there. But I think I've covered that one. If I haven't, let me know, but I think I covered whichever it was there. Incidentally, that normally when you get through a webinar at this point, 50–60% of the people do drop off the webinar. Interestingly enough, virtually no one's dropped off.
We have wonderful members and really are loyal to us. Next question, will there be a credit debit card associated with the wallet to make purchases similar to Coinbase's Shift card? First of all, I think, Eric, you're asking about the wallet and you're referring to the exchange, I believe, but I'm going to let Noel finish answering this one. Thanks, Noel.
It could be in two parts out there, that there will be a card that will be made available into the exchange, where you'll be able to load your coins and currency onto the card. We are also building our own cloud banking system that will be run as independent, or it might run together with it, but there's going to be, we definitely want that. We want a card system in there so that we can easily manage where we want to go with it. But the banks have already set that up. They haven't loaded it up yet. And not only a card system that will run through computer, but they're having it mobile friendly too. So you'll be able to use your banking system and through your mobile device.
Okay. It looks like Jeff McGill is asking, is there an expected new launch date for NLA? And Ron says, I didn't hear how we trade the coin for goods and services. Thanks.
Okay, sorry about that. It was the goods and services. Well, once again, we've got an e-commerce site there, and we've got a lot of companies that want to become part of that e-commerce, and we've held them back because we want the exchange to be up and running so that the coin truly has a value out there. And so once again, we'll be bringing these people into any company that wants to use our coins. We have a company at the moment now that have, I don't want to mention companies out there, but they have 50,000 members in there, and they want to be able to use our coin for purchasing their goods and services. So we have many companies that want to be able to do that out there, and so away we'll go with it. I think the other question was about when will NLA be launching. I did cover that earlier, that we're waiting on the exchanges to be trading correctly and having all the boxes ticked with the exchange, and then we'll be announcing where we're going with NLA. So it should be at some time. We're not going to spring it on members and have people getting panicky that they've got to do something out there immediately. We want to give people a bit of breathing space. I mean, we've been going for this long. We don't want to bring it to a full stop in 24 hours if you don't action. But we need to keep the thing flowing so that we've got members receiving, because the only way we can attract more business into our business is if people are actually making some money from it.
Right, and that is the key, is to help all of our members earn and grow. There seems to be a little bit of confusion on the response you gave to Jerry's question earlier about when should we be ready to renew our NLA accounts, and can we pay cash or NLA? I'm going to say coins there because I'm sure that's what you're meaning there, Trent. And Clara asks, if I had multiple accounts in NLA, do I renew them or need to open new one? Back to you, Noel.
just to cover the renewals, no, you don't need to open up new accounts in there. You could just renew the ones you've got, because you're in a position, everyone that joins now, it's, if you can imagine this, it's like joining a queue, and when it becomes your turn in that queue, it'll become your turn. And so anyone with positions there now, you're in the queue. And in the last month or so, we've had over 200 sign-ups. And we're not really encouraging people to do sign-ups, but it'd be a good idea to get a position there now, certainly. If you've got any family or friends that want to take it, certainly be able to do it from there. And I'm not sure, I thought I answered Jerry's question about the coins, that you'll be able to use your cash to purchase a cloud folder, which you'll receive coins, or use your coins that you wanted, but you'd be probably foolish using the coins because the coins have a different value. Once the exchange is trading, you'd sell your coins on the exchange and then use that money to upgrade your accounts. That's what I would see as being the normal thing to do, but it's up to members what they want to do.
I hope that brings some clarity. Ron also asks, would Amazon become one of our e-commerce sites? And Arthur is saying, this is not really a question, he's saying, the exchanges seem to be your priority instead of members' ability to purchase goods and services based on the full value of our coins. This is confusing. Back to you, Noel.
Well, the exchanges have to be trading. You've got to be able to sell your coin. What merchant would want to take a coin unless they know they can sell it? It's as simple as that. So that's just getting straight to the point there, Arthur. There's no merchant that we would expect to take our coin for their goods and services. The first thing they say is, where do I sell it? If they looked into the exchange right now, they'd see that that there's no trading, so they'd say, well, I can't sell it. So until the exchanges are fixed and ready to go, then we can answer all those questions. Look, there was another question there, I think. I'm having a good time this morning. I've been up most of the night, to be honest with you, trying to get some further details, because with our technical teams, there's always someone awake and someone asleep somewhere in the world that we can get with, and sometimes if I'm talking to them I forget what day I've been talking to them. So you've got to give me a tolerance of 24 hours before and 24 hours after on the days. But anyway, I'm not sure. I think there was another question there that I've missed, I think, Angelina. Sorry about that.
No worries. We do understand how busy you get. The question was, would Amazon become one of our e-commerce sites? And yes, so far I don't see any other questions, so just that one, no.
That would be entirely to do with Amazon and people. Amazon are not necessarily an e-commerce. It's the people in there that are selling their goods and services as well. It's those people that will attract to our e-commerce site. There's going to be a lot of promotion that goes on with our e-commerce site, so who wants to become part of it, that's entirely up to them. But there's look, just to give you an idea, my background is that I'm a retailer, and I started off when I was 20 years of age. My wife and I opened our first shop. We finished up with 3 supermarkets, and I became a director of a group that had 400 stores. I owned 3 of the stores, so I became a director of that group, and I was commissioned I was on the Council of Management of the Food Retailers Association. So retailing is in my blood, and e-commerce is just another form of retailing. So I really have a good understanding on the retail component of it. And so once we get going with it there, we feel that we'll turn our e-commerce site into something to be reckoned with, because we'll have a lot of attractions for members and to use our merchants, and a lot of reasons why merchants will want to become part of where we're at. All right, I'll hand this back to Angelina. I'm not sure if there's any more questions, and hopefully we've cleared it up from there. Angelina might want to close up from there, but I do want to take this opportunity to thank everyone very much for particularly being so patient waiting for this to happen, and you're going to be rewarded, but like no other in this program, I believe. Thank you.
Yes, we are so full of gratitude for our members being so loyal and patient, and it's been a great webinar with lots of very encouraging updates. And as Jenny was mentioning earlier, we'll get some notes out to you fellows in the rooms, just going over the humanitarian projects, etc. And with that, thank you, all of you, for joining us today and taking time out of your day and your questions and, again, your support. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks for now. Bye.